giant like your study or anything that is difficult, giant. We must conquer the giant in our life. We must conquer the activity of Satan. We must conquer the activity of demons. We must conquer the activities of the world influence. We must conquer, our sin in our life so that we can rise above and live victoriously and be a great blessing, be a man and woman of strong character and powerful. Alright? So God allows giants in our lives is to mold us, to test us whether we are faithful. You know, in this story, the people they are defeated by the giants. Okay? When they are defeated by the giant in their life, they die in the wilderness. In other words, they lost their faith, stopped believing in Jesus, and they go back to the world and go back to their death, to their grave, and eventually end up in hell. Alright? Okay, so today the message to encourage you, overcoming giant in your life, and don't be defeated, by difficulties. You know, this story is talking about the 12 spies that they stand to explore the land, the Canaan land. But when they're exploring the land, there are 12 of them were the leaders of each tribe. They went, and some of them saw the giant, and they were so frightened, the Anak, and they were very frightened. And then came back with bad reports, said, hey, better don't go there, no, we better die in the wilderness than to be beaten up by the giants. You understand? So, and how many of you are afraid of giant in your life? Anyone? Okay? So, and I hope all of you will overcome the giant in your life. That is your studies. The giant may be your Chinese language, your giant may be your English language, or your maths, or your science, or whatever subject is your giant. You must be able to overcome. When you can overcome the giant, then you become strong. Strong and powerful with good character. Alright? And so, but out of the 12, there's only 2 spies. The 2 spies are Caleb and Joshua. Only both of them are strong. And they say, the Lord has given us this land filled with milk and honey, full of abundance, prosperity and enjoyment. Children. You need to, first of all, as a student, you overcome your study. So you do well. You go to university, have a good job, and then at least your basic living is not a problem. Alright? So this is a giant that you have to overcome. Alright, but of course there are more giants than just study. Alright, there's also the spiritual giant, the demons, and all that. But out of the 12, 10 brought back bad report, and he affected the other people, and they become they become frightened, and they want to go back to Egypt, go back to the world. Alright? And they go back to the world, and the path is death. Alright? So, but out of the 12, only 2. That is 1 over 6, only 16.7%. 16.7% out of 100 people. That means 100 people, only about 70 people are strong. Alright, how many of you are strong here? I will see you through, as long as the Lord's tarry. Alright, see, those who are strong will make it in their faith. Alright, especially, and do well in society. Alright, so it's only 16.7. I hope there will be more than that. Alright, out of the 7 churches, only 2 are good ones. 2 out of 7. Alright, so 2 out of 7, also very less, the percentage, maybe 20%, right? So there are not many. Alright, so I hope that when you go to this story, you are among the 2, the Caleb and Joshua are the strong ones that defeated, that went into the promised land, and Caleb defeated the giants, the Anak. Anak. Let's look at the story now proper. Send some men to the Lord said to Moses. Look at the slide. Pay attention. And the Lord said to Moses, send some men to explore the land of Canaan, because I'm giving you. Alright? And send 1 leaders in each of the tribe. And they started out from the deserts of Paran. Alright? And then these are the leaders. I just highlight the red one. Caleb is from the tribe of Judah. There's the leaders, the leaders of the 12 tribes. And then for Joshua, his name Hosea was changed to Joshua. He was from the tribe of Ephraim. Alright? And then so these are the 12 tribes. And go to verse 17, and Moses sent them to explore the Canaan land. And he said, go up through the Negev and into the hill country and see what the land is like, whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many, and what kind of land do they live? Is it good or bad? What kind of towns do they live in? Are they unwalled or fortified? And whether the soil is fertile or poor, are there trees in it? Do your best to bring back some of the fruits of the land. Right? So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Sin, and they went out through the Negev and came to Hebron. That's where the giants are. These are the giants. Where Ahima, Shishaiah, Nathanael, and the descendants of Anak. Alright, and these are the giants. And when they reached the valley of Eshcol, they cut a branch, and Sorona, the place was called, and because of the cluster of bread, they cut off and bring back. And at the end of the 14 days of explorations, and they returned from the spies on the land. And they came back to Moses and Aaron, to the whole community at the Kadesh in the desert of Paran. And they gave the report. They gave Moses, in verse 27, the account. They went into the land to which you sent, and it does flow with milk and honey. And here is the fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and the city are fortified and are very large. And he even saw the descendants of the giant, the Anak. And the Amalekites also, not only that, the other tribal people, the Amalekites, the Negev, the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Syrians, live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live the sea. So they are, on top of the giant, there are also enemies there, the different groups of enemies. And then Caleb, silent the people. He said, the report, before the Moses said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we are certainly able to do it. Because why? He has faith. Because God said, I will give you this Canaan land. He promised Abraham, and they are the descendants of Abraham. So they have to go. But you always has to work hard, pray and press. When God give you something, like here, God give us this Canaan land and Canberra, alright, that some of you are from there. Alright, we need to work hard. Yes, we need to work hard to conquer the land and defeat the giant there. Okay, there's the demonic stronghold. Alright, and God leads the way, and they can overcome the giant and other enemy. But the man who had gone with him said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. So we must not be pessimistic and weak and feel defeated. Okay, we must be strong to overcome our problems. Alright, we must make it happen and try to win the souls, alright, in your family. Let's move on. As they spread among the Israelites, they made a report about the land they explore, and they said the land they explored devours those living in it. That means eat them up. And all the people we saw our great sight. We saw the Nephilim, there's a giant, right? The descendants of the Anak. And we are like grasshopper before their eyes, and we look so small in front of them. Alright, so when you see your study, take it as a challenge. Okay, like maths, alright, or any problem, take it as a challenge. Alright, so what happened was the people were discouraged except Joshua and Caleb encouraged them. 14. Then the night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept because they were afraid to go and fight the giants. And all the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron. Okay, today, this guy, when he first came in, this time she can help set up. She very good. Wow, she run and carry the table. She's so small size, right? But the table is big size. So he's not afraid of the giant or the board. I said, okay, and I do your best. Together we set up. Okay, she volunteered. She's good. Right? So you're not afraid of the giant. Right? You don't come in and sit down, right? Relax, aircon, right? You go there and rush and take the giant. Alright, and set up. Alright? So don't be afraid. Okay? So you sign up already with me, Every week you come, you help me set up table. Okay, praise God. Alright? All Israelites grumble against Moses. And the whole assembly said, if only we had died in Egypt. And why did the Lord bring us to this land and let us fall by the sword? Why our children be taken as plunder? Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? So they were afraid that the children, will be captured by the enemy, alright, and then do harm to them. And they said to each other, we should choose a leader, let us go back to Egypt. Egypt where they came from before they crossed the Red Sea, right? So there's a path of slavery. Go back to the world. Many people cannot take the Christian walk because there are so many tests. Alright, and now they give up the faith, they go back to the world, and go back to Egypt, and that's where they die. Alright? So this path is here to defeat giant upon giant, then they can be strong. Hey, one more giant to defeat, no? You got to defeat. So must be strong in your study, and defeat the giant. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite. Okay, because they complain against the leadership, right? Because they follow the law and they tell them the right thing, yet they cannot believe in them, cannot trust. So what happened? Joshua came up, who were among them, they tore their clothes in sadness. And they say to the whole Israelite, the land was passed through, explored is exceedingly good, very good, very good, the land, okay? It's the Lord is pleased with us. We will lead us into the land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Will give it to us. Because we continue to believe in Jesus, the land there is more than just milk and honey. It's heavenwards. You won't die, you won't suffer, all right, and then you will praise God, right? So there is a land, a heaven. We're going there where we continue to grow in wisdom and in love, especially in love. And only do not rebel against Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them, we will eat them up. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. Alright? So be strong. So we must conquer the land. We must conquer your land is your family. Bring them to know Jesus. Lila, pray for family, right? Lila, okay? Pray that you conquer your family members, the rest come to know Jesus. You must conquer our study, you must conquer technology. Right, technology is very useful in this era. We must make full use of, especially the video. I'm still looking for, among the youth, people will help me to do the video, and it's very consistent. Is helping, but I need more. We need to have very good video so that we can show. Right, we must conquer the technology, we must conquer camera, we must conquer Satan, demon, and sin, and world, and the philosophy of the world. We must conquer all them and bring in other subjections to the power of the word. Alright? So, but the whole assembly talk about stoning. You can see, Joshua was encouraging them, oh, we go in and they want to stone him because they didn't like what Joshua said. So, oftentimes, hey, when we are told you to, let's say your parents are telling you to study, then study. Okay, don't go and stone them. No. They tell you discipline you say, then you fight with them, right? They say, because I want to enjoy playing my video, my game, or what, right? So we must listen to them, correct? Correct? Everyone agree, So we must be obedient to our parents, okay? They discipline us for good. You know what? God is a perfect God and a God of wisdom, and discipline us so that we can become perfect in wisdom and perfect in love. That's why you need to be disciplined. Discipline is very important. I must emphasize here. God is a perfect God in love and in wisdom, and He disciplines us so that we can become perfect like Him and full of love like Him. Okay, that's why you need to have discipline. Discipline yourself, especially nowadays with this modern gazette, the phone. The children, very young age, they're given the phone and they cannot manage. The phone become their giants. Alright? Hey, anyone? Hey, but discipline your conduct character, sit still and listen. Right? This time to honor God. Discipline. Then one day you can become perfect in wisdom. And you can become perfect in love. So it's very important that you must sit and listen. And don't talk to your neighbor. And don't disturb your neighbor. Discipline. If you are disciplined, you are good in character, and one day you become a great giant. Men and women of great giant. A great spirit. A strong faith. Alright? So it's very important. So, and the Lord said to Moses, how long? Because these people keep not listening. How long will these people treat me with contempt, not listening to my command? How long will they refuse to believe in me, in spite of all the signs that I performed among them, opening out the Red Sea and cross over, right? Even then, because they are stubborn in their heart, right? They refuse to obey. I will strike them now with a plague and destroy them, but I will make you into nations greater and stronger than they, right? So God allowed the giant in your life so that when they overcome, they become very strong. So when God allowed the giant in your life, you overcome, become very strong and very disciplined and full of wisdom and love. Understand or not? That's the reason why you need to, Johnny, need to be disciplined, so you become perfect in wisdom and perfect in love. Okay, that's the reason why God allows us to be disciplined. Understand? Okay, let's move on. Alright, and then, so, the Lord was angry with them. Let's move on. But Moses pleaded with them and said, God, don't. You are God who's slow to anger and abounding in love and forgiving and so on. Okay, so ask God to forgive them. Then what did the Lord reply? Say 21. Nevertheless, as surely I live and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, none of those who saw my glory at the sign I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, but who disobeyed me and tested me 10 times, and not one of them will see the land and promise on oath to their ancestors. Not one of them has treated and content will ever leave it. Do you know that those 20 years old and above who disobey God, they all died in the desert? Only those who under 20, alright, and they move on to the Canaan land. 20 years old and above all died because disobedient. If you disobey God, you will die. If you obey God, you will live. Disobey God means you go back to Egypt, go back to the world, you stop following Him, you stop following His way. And because that is the pathway to death. Eventually, not only physical death, but eternal death, or spiritual death. Alright? So there is only one way. When you fight this war, your protection is only in front. When the enemy shoot your arrow, you go forward, he cannot hit you because you got the shield of God on you. But you cannot turn backward because this one is not protected. You turn back, the enemy shoot you, you die because there is no protection. Okay? So there is only one way. You believe Jesus, all the way, only one way. You cannot turn back, you have no protection. Alright? So what happened is truly, but because my servant Caleb, but God said, but my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follow me 100% wholeheartedly. I will bring him into the land, and he went, and to his descendant will inherit it. Alright? So, and then of course in the end, Caleb got the land. Okay, he wanted at the age. You see how the Lord preserved him. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go to how they died. Okay, in verse 29. In this wilderness, your body will fall, they will die. Every one of you 20 years old and more, who was counted on the census and who has grumbled against God. Okay, they grumbled against God and they die in the desert. Eventually don't follow, go to hell. Right? Next one. Not one of you will enter the land and swore with uplifted hand and make your home except Caleb, okay, and Joshua, 2%, 2 good spies, right? As for children, you say will be abundant, I will bring them to enjoy the land, okay, which you have rejected. Okay, but the children can go in. But as for you, your body will fall in the wilderness. Your children will be the shepherds here for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness. They'll suffer in the desert. Why? Because of the disobedience of the parents. Alright? Your parents are an unbeliever, but now you're a believer. You are a blessing to them. Alright? Try to save them, conquer their family to get them saved. Right? For 40 years, 1 year for each 40 years in the wilderness, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explore the land. Okay? So 40 days they explore the land, right? So they suffer for 40 years. And you will suffer for your sins, and no one is like you will come against me. And the Lord has spoken, I will surely do this thing to this whole wicked, evil community which has banded towards me, and they will meet their ends in the wilderness, and they will die. Okay, they die, disobey. Okay, give me a while, we will finish. And so Moses has sent to explore the land and return the grumblers here. And then these men who were responsible for spreading bad report, and they were struck down and died of a plague before the Lord. Okay, there's a disease, right? And out of them only Joshua and Caleb survived. Let's move on. Okay, and verse 44, and after they disobeyed God, and God didn't allow them to go up, but they want to go. Okay, in verse 44, presumption, I mean, in their presumption, they went up towards the highest point of the hill to fight with the enemy, and Moses, now the ark in the presence of God was with them. So they went alone, they went outside the will of God. So if you don't follow God's word, God's command, you are outside the will, you are in the wilderness. The snake will bite you, or the scorpion will sting you. You understand? So you need to follow God so that you will be in a land filled with milk and honey, not in the desert where there are snake and scorpion to sting you. Okay, this COVID-19, you don't observe the rule. Okay, now these infected cases a lot, right, from overseas. So anyway, just be careful, alright? So, and you take care and the Lord protect you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's look at this verse, a very interesting verse. And Caleb, he went into the promised land. Look at what the Lord said. I was 40 years old when Moses, verse 7, I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. And I brought him back according to my conviction. But my fellow Israelite who went up and made the hearts of the people melt in fear. However, I followed the Lord wholeheartedly. So Moses swore to me, the land which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, and that your children forever, to that of your children also, because you have followed me wholeheartedly. So what happened? And now then the Lord has promised me, has kept me alive for how many years? Isaac, how many years the Lord kept Caleb alive? 45 years. He was 40 years old when God promised him Hebron, the hill of Hebron. And God kept him alive for another 45 years. At the age of 85, he still got to fight the giant. No. I God give him the land. 45, okay, 40 years old plus 45, 85 years old, he still want the hill, alright, the mountain or the hill, alright, and the Lord kept him alive. So because the Lord promised him he didn't die in the wilderness, okay, the Lord gave him long life. The Lord can give you long life if you obey him, okay, you watch his command, alright. So, they say what, 85 years old, what happened to him? Is he bedridden? Was Caleb bedridden? Was he bedridden? Was he bedridden, Gerald?
No.
No, he was strong. See here? I was still strong. Hey, go evangelism, be strong. Go exercise, go and climb hill. Alright? And go and swim. Whatever you do, keep yourself strong. Alright? And as the day Moses sent me, I'm just as vigorous to go. I can, we're strong and vigorous. I'm very quick in in movement to go out to battle. As I was saying, he's ready to fight the giant at 85. 85 now. How many Akong Ama 85 years old already?
Me.
85. Still strong, no? See now. Still can fight the giant. Hey, so you all go evangelism with us, Okay, go exercise. Don't walk one block only. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Now, give me the hill. He said, give me the hill. And then give me the hill that the Lord had promised me that day. You yourself heard that the Anakites were there and their city were large and fortified. But the Lord helping me, I will dry them up. Just as he said, right? So he drive up the giant and he conquered the land. Okay, what's the significance of the land of Hebron? Let's look, And Joshua blessed Caleb and he gave him the Hebron. That's the land, right? As an inheritance. Okay, what is the significance of Hebron? I give you the background. Hebron belonged to Caleb. Okay, and because he followed the Lord and the God of Israel wholeheartedly, God gave him the land. Hebron is called the Kiriath Arba. Arba, who was the greatest man, the Anakites. Okay, alright. So there's a giant. And according to the Lord, Joshua gave to Caleb's son a portion of Judah, Kiriath Arba, and that is Hebron. And Arba was the forefather of Anak, the giant. And from Hebron, Caleb drove out the three Anakites, the three giants, Shishai, Ahima, and Tamar, the sons of Anak. So these are the giants that Caleb defeated, right? And from there he marched against the people, and Caleb, okay, then he opened opportunity for whoever defeated the Debai, called the Kiriath Arba, right? And so there's a war to fight to conquer land. Okay, look at the background. Abraham stayed near Hebron, which he stand, and then his wife actually buried there. And who stayed there? Isaac also stayed there. Isaac came to his father's house near Kiriath near Hebron, where they stayed, right? And let's move on. And then 2 Samuel, Hebron is a place where they anoint King David is one of the towns to Hebron, the Lord answered. And look at verse 3. David also took the men who were with him, with his family, and they settled in Hebron, in his town. And the men of Judah came to Hebron, and they anointed David king over Israel. Right? So the significance of the land that God gave to Caleb is the land where they anoint king. Understand? The king that he raised king. So that land, conquering giant, in a sense that you can raise king. Okay, when you are a giant, you can raise men and women of gigantic faith. You can raise kings. Alright, you can nurture kings. Alright, when you are strong in faith, you can nurture strong believers. Even okay, this case the place is used to anoint king. Yeah? And the length of the time David was in Hebron over Judah was 7 months. 7 years, 6 months. And then later on, David was, verse 5, Samuel 5:1. All the tribes of Israel came to David at Hebron and anointed David as king. Alright? So in total, alright, he was anointed as all the Israel came to Hebron and anointed a king over Israel. Alright? So he was anointed as king, and then he reigned for 40 years. Alright? 40 years. Alright, both in Judah, the south, and the north. You can see how significant the land where is God given to Caleb eventually he uses to raise the king, the most powerful king of Israel. So when you are strong in faith, you can raise kings who are strong kings. Okay, conclusion. Okay, let's go to the conclusion. So basically today, I'm sharing with you about this. Okay, you must be strong. Okay, like Caleb and Joshua to overcome the giant and follow the Lord wholeheartedly. Alright, so we must conquer the giant in our life. That's number one. That means we must conquer sins in our life. We must conquer disobedience. 极限 must conquer 极限 not conquer 极限 must conquer sins in our life, disobedience in our life. Must conquer laziness in our life. We must conquer demons, Satan strategy. Conquer this worldly attraction and conquer the addictions to the phone in our life. You understand? And conquer what other areas in our life we need to conquer? Laziness, right? Okay, you must be strong and hardworking and focused. Alright? And so today's message to us, overcome giant in your life so that you become strong and be very disciplined. Because why? Why God wants to discipline us? So that we may be perfect in wisdom and in perfect in love. And God is a God of wisdom, perfect in wisdom and perfect in love. He disciplined us, alright, in order to follow His way to overcome the giant, obediently 100%, so that we can be perfect in love and perfect in wisdom. So today you are here and say, God, I want to overcome giant in life so that I can become strong in character, perfect in wisdom, and perfect. Let us pray for you. How many? Okay, stand up. Those who want, please stand to your feet. Let us pray for you. Who want to overcome giant in your life to become perfect in love and wisdom? Who want to follow the Lord 100%? Okay, must come from the heart. Following the Lord must come from the heart. Okay, let's. Ready? Ready? We stand and pray. I say, just follow me. Close your eye. Jesus, help me to overcome giant in my life. Maybe sin, disobedience, laziness, addiction, bondages, foul language, whatever bad things. Jesus, help me to overcome. So that I become strong. Help me to discipline and 100% obey your word. And you will give me the power to overcome all the giants in my life. And the end result, I will be perfect in character, in wisdom, and in love. Lord, help me to discipline myself, to walk righteous, obey you all the way, obey my parents too, and excel, discipline to excel in all the things you call me to do, in my study, in my work, in everything I do for your glory. And the day will come, I'll be very strong as a believer, and I can produce mighty believers and perfect in love and in wisdom. I give you praise and thanks in Jesus' name. Praise God. Thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you. Be seated. Do you want to bring you to
You
group
want
ready?
everyone to hear your voice online now?
Yes.
Huh?
Hey. Okay, go to the group. Okay, one group go to the back, 8% maximum. Huh? The balance.